Hello once again, Niner Faithful, and welcome back to another episode of 49ers Playbook on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game. This past Sunday, the 49ers were able to continue their winning streak over the Seattle Seahawks and vault themselves into the #1 spot in the NFC. Brock Purdy and the offense put up a ton of yards, more than the score would even suggest, and I'm going to be covering Purdy in a video tomorrow, making an argument for him as MVP. But today, I want to highlight the defense because there were so many impressive plays in this game. I was as impressed with them as I've been with Manscaped's holiday sales going on right now, and you can head over to manscaped.com and make sure to use promo code JFA, where you can see all of their amazing holiday specials. Right now, you can get the Platinum Package, their biggest and best product bundle, for 49% off. Whether for yourself or someone else, it's got all my favorite products. The star of the team is the Lawnmower 5.0, which comes with an interchangeable trimming head so you can go anywhere from golf course rough to cart path bare. And it also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ears hair trimmer. Both are waterproof, have super fast USB-C charging, and feature Manscaped's legendary skin-safe technology to make sure you're not cutting your game too close. It also comes with a bevy of more products. It has their ultra premium body wash as well as the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, both of which I love, the Body Buffer body scrubber, ball deodorant, and crop soother. Their ultra premium deodorant, as well as their boxer briefs, which are flexible, breathable, and have the amazing jewel pouch. It's all wrapped up with a high quality travel bag to take all your stuff on the go. It's an incredible deal that you don't want to miss out on. That's manscaped.com, and please make sure to use promo code JFA so they know I sent you. That's manscaped.com and promo code JFA. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. There's a lot of stuff to get into, but the defense came away with 2 interceptions and could have easily had more. Here, the Seahawks are looking to take a shot off play action. Note they have 2 tight ends in. They're going max protect and will just have Smith and Jigba on a seam fade. He'll look to work inside against Ward, playing outside deep third, and then work to the pylon. And Jigba does get a little bit of a step on Ward, but this is a really long throw they're asking from Drew Lock. In the end, this ball is going to be over 60 yards in the air, and Mooney Ward isn't in bad coverage. The ball is slightly underthrown, but Ward and Brown played this really tight, with Ward turning and tracking the ball, and you'll see why there's the old saying, if you're wrong, be long. Too often, if your quarterback underthrows a ball like this, it can end up picked. One thing I saw over and over again on film, and something you're going to see in this video, was the ability to stop the run without having to bring an extra safety into the box. And what do we mean by that? The box is an area framed as defenders close to the line of scrimmage and in the middle of the field. Note that Seattle is in heavy run personnel with double tight ends away from Metcalf. When a team has 2 safeties outside the box, they're in what's called a light box, where the offense has the ability to have numbers in blocking where they can account for every defensive player with an offensive blocker. Here, the Seahawks are trying to run a wide zone, which is something I've talked a lot about in many episodes, about how the 49ers run these successfully, but how do you defeat them? First, you have to set a hard edge to keep this play contained, and you can't let it get stretched out. You have to condense the running lanes. Second, you have to disrupt the combo blocks. These 2 linemen are trying to work zone rules to seal off the defensive tackles or drive them to the sideline and get up on the linebackers. What the offense can't have is these guys maintaining their gaps on the move or keeping the linemen from getting up on the linebackers. Here, Kalia Davis and Kevin Givens do a fantastic job. First, Nick Bosa sets a hard edge. Davis and Givens disrupt and work to the point of attack. Fred Warner is also Fred Warner. He sees it and attacks his gap before the guard can get up on him. When the running back is looking to hit the point of attack, you see how well the 49ers maintain their gaps, and it's a run for a loss of 1 yard. The very next play, the Seahawks are going to try and take advantage of the front side flow. Now Steve Wilks does bring Jair Brown down into the box, and the Seahawks are going to try and run a split zone, which will look like your wide zone, but you'll bring a tight end across to kick out the end man, and the running back will work inside out away from the line flow. We're coming with a run blitz with Brown. He'll come off the edge, and Bosa and Davis will crash down. This disrupts the O-line blocking, so even with Seattle having a numbers disadvantage against a heavy box, now have 3 blockers on 2 defenders, leaving Greenlaw and Warner unaccounted for. Givens also did a great job anchoring against the down block from the tackle, and it's another stuff for no gain. Unfortunately, even with the great run defense on this drive, the drive ended in a touchdown for Seattle. Note though, heavy run personnel and double tight ends away from Metcalf. This is a case where you tip your cap, they're trying to hit a double move on Ambry Thomas, and Thomas is in near perfect coverage, the ball location just squeaks by and they get a touchdown. As a defensive coach though, you're okay with the offense having to pinpoint throws from Drew Lock deep down the sideline to score on you. That's not a sustainable offense. So now you're going to see how the light box run defense starts coming into play. The Seahawks come out in a heavy run personnel, the same exact personnel, and have double tight ends away from Metcalf like the play I showed on the very first run play. Now they're going hard play action, max protect, and are again trying to hit DK down the sideline. But also like I showed on the first run play, we have two high safeties. We're going to double Metcalf here with Thomas in bump and run and have Gibson over the top. Gibson doesn't bite on the run fake, and so when Locke turns around, his shot is taken away and he has nowhere to go with the ball. Next, we'll see some of what Wilks was doing to confuse Drew Lock. They start out with a tight end split wide, and with Greenlaw on him and a single safety, this looks like cover one lurk with Thomas in press on DK Metcalf. The Seahawks have a man beater dialed up where they'll have Metcalf on an alert fade, so if Locke sees Metcalf in press man with no safety help, he'll look to Metcalf. Then they'll have a variation on a mesh concept, where normally a mesh is two shallow crossing routes to run interference. What teams will do is run a shallow and go. But at the snap, we back out into cover 2 zone. You'll see Locke looks to Metcalf, he wanted him on the alert, but Gibson is over the top. Things like this slow down a quarterback's processing because the time he'd have to work against zone is now shortened by wasted vision against a lethal pass rush. Locke then tries to work towards the mesh, but it doesn't work well like this against a sitting zone, and the pressure flushes him out for an incomplete pass on 3rd down. Then after a couple weird fluky plays, Seattle is deep in 49ers territory but is stopped for a big negative on 1st down that stymies the drive. The 49ers again are sitting with 2 deep safeties. This is just a heck of a job by Randy Gregory and Nick Bosa. Gregory is first to get quick penetration and defeat Jason Peters, and then Bosa tracking it down. Then again, more great run defense. Again, note the defense in 2 high safeties. This was a huge part to containing Metcalf in this game. The Seahawks are trying to run an RPO or run pass option. They have a split zone inside with a wide receiver screen outside. The read for Locke is on Isaiah Oliver. At the snap, he reads Oliver covering the screen, so it's a handoff. From the end zone, Young sets a hard edge, and you'll see Givens and Hargrave eat up double teams, leaving Warner and Greenlaw free. What I love though is how quickly Jair Brown reads run and comes up in run support, and it's another run stuff. At this point, I want to take a quick break and let you know we have some Johnny Doe's Football Academy merch with the release of our first channel shirt. You can get yours through the link in the description below. So now on 2nd and 8, the Seahawks are going to try and take another shot to DK. You'll notice we're in single high, Diamador Lenore is on DK, and they're in a man alignment. The Seahawks are going to run play action with a split zone look, have DK on a fade with a tight end out in the flat. Right before the snap, you'll see his back out, and it'll be cover 2 zone. So as Locke pulls up from the run fake, again you have Gibson over the top with Lenoir underneath, so he immediately checks it down and it's only a gain of 2 yards. But you're already seeing how Wilks and the defense were baiting Locke and the Seahawks into looks for DK down the sideline and then taking it away. Then back on the next drive, another great run stop. The Seahawks are coming back to a wide zone, and this is a real nice job by Javon Kinlaw. Watch him stack and shed on this play. That's textbook teaching tape right there. So with the run getting stuffed, they're going to try and spread us out and go after Jair Brown. We're in cover 3 zone and Jair Brown is the curl flap player. The Seahawks are going with a run fake and then a spacing concept. The idea is with Brown being aggressive versus the run, you'll hold him inside with the run fake, then the spot route by Lockett will create interference on Brown to the flat. But watch the young guy read it, work over the interference, and make a great stop on the play. Then the Seahawks try and screen them and get nothing. This is such fantastic play by both Greenlaw and Warner. If we pause it and we think about this, the Seahawks have 4 potential blockers on 2 linebackers. This should be a huge gain. But 1, Fred Warner is so fast to close the gap they can't get up on him, and 2, Dre Greenlaw does a textbook job of maintaining outside contain on this to clog it up for Warner to make the tackle. That's as good of linebacker play as you'll see in football. So then after the stop on the screen pass, another well-designed disguise from Wilks that messes up Drew Lock. So they've got a tight end split out wide and Fred Warner is on him. Lenoir and Oliver are inside and Thomas looks like he's in press man on DK. At the snap, we back out into cover 2 zone. Brown almost gets confused by their disguised look and Gibson has to get him over to the correct side of the field. They wanted Gibson as a safety over Metcalf all game. They had both DK and Lockett on fade routes down the sideline. Again, both safeties end up over the top and it takes it away. From the end zone, just watch Drew Lock's eyes here. You can see how confused he is. He doesn't quite know where to look and just checks it down short of the first down marker. Then, before the half, more confusion on Lock. We're showing cover 3 zone pre-snap and again have Thomas in a press man look. Then again, right before the snap, we'll back out into Tampa 2 zone. They again had Metcalf on a fade down the sideline and again you see Lock look to Metcalf who has a safety over the top again, and with pressure coming and backed up, Lock scrambles out. Great job in coverage too, but you're seeing how Lock isn't getting to his zone reads. He's looking to Metcalf on these alerts so often and it's slowing down his ability to read the defense and forcing these plays. He rolls out and tries to make a play, but it's an illegal forward pass. Then, even when we didn't disguise, they had Lock rattled. They're running a double in plus China concept here, which is a double in route paired with a deep out route from the inside. We're in cover 2 zone and you'll get a triangle stretch on the underneath coverage. This is just disciplined defense. Lock sees Flanagan fouls take Lockett on the first in and is working Lenoir on a low-high read here. Sees Lenoir squatting on Metcalf and thinks he's got a shot. but Lenore kept his eyes on Locke the whole way, reads it, and nearly comes up with the pick. So now on third down, the Seahawks are going to try and outgame what the 49ers have been doing, and it's another great call by Wilks. So they've moved Metcalf inside, and you'll see the same look we've had earlier with Thomas in a press outside and Gibson looking like he's over the top. They're going to run a clearing route there, and a speedo concept with DK running him on a deep over route. The idea is they've been doubling that single receiver with Gibson over the top, so you'll be able to clear the whole thing out and get DK working across the field. But with DK inside, and I'm sure this is a game plan check, they're in a Fangio staple coverage, cover 4 tricks. What does that mean? It means you man up on the 2 receiver side, and the quarter safety on that side will cross key to the number 3 or any crossing route with depth. Tricks being a combination of words trips cross. So this takes away Metcalf as Gibson is sitting, cross-keying on his deep over route. With Metcalf taken away and the pressure coming, Locke checks it down again short of the line to gain. Then we get a sack of Locke. I think he's expecting cover 2 zone with 2 high safeties on this play. We're in cover 4, and that little hesitation allows the rush to get home. Hargrave absolutely whooped the left guard, and Farrell tracks him down for the sack. We do give up a first down though, and this one is on Bosa. There weren't many negatives on the defense, but I'm going to show this one. We're coming with an overload blitz here, and this is just a mental lapse by Bosa. He needs to rush upfield because Warner is attacking the inside shoulder of the guard. Greenlaw will come in and occupy the running back, and you'll get Brown coming free. Bosa, though, starts upfield but pulls a spin move inside and gives up contain. If he just maintains his contain, he either gets a sack or Brown gets a sack. It's just a mental lapse there. But the run defense was able to keep Seattle's run game stifled all game long. Note again that the 49ers have 2 high safeties, and you'll see Drew Lock check this play. They're trying to run against a light box. They're going again with a wide zone, and again, Kalia Davis and Kevin Givens do a fantastic job of eating up and drawing double teams, keeping Warner and Greenlaw clean, and Fred gets in first to disrupt the play. It just didn't matter what Seattle ran, they couldn't get it going. Here they're trying another RPO, and by the way the line blocks, they're being careful not to get too far upfield. It's more like pass blocking, but Isaiah Oliver and Warner stay back in the throwing lane, so Locke has to hand it off and the running back has nowhere to go. Then on 3rd and long, good coverage leads to another stop. Seattle is going to try and give Locke extra time by keeping a running back into block and having a tight end chip and release, and they're going to have Lockett and Metcalf on deep comeback routes. We're in cover 4, and it's a great job of understanding what Seattle likes to do by Greenlaw and Oliver. As Locke drops back with no underneath threat, they both drop into the throwing lane on these deep comebacks. That's from good preparation during the week. This forces Locke to hold the ball and allows the rush to get to him, flush him out, and Greenlaw is a monster in the open field. After Seattle was able to score on a double fake screen, we do keep them from converting on the 2-point try. They have a good play design. They'll run play action paired with a spot concept. If you've watched the channel, you've heard me talk about Spider 2Y Banana. This works pretty much the same way, but adding in a spot route for further interference. They want the fullback player in the flat. He's number 1 in the progression. Lenore, Fowles, and Brown do a great job not biting on the run fake, and Lenore is sitting in the flat, forcing Locke to hold the ball and allows Chase Young to get home. This is Young winning with his speed rush. He's been such a huge part of unlocking the pass rush for this team. Then the defense comes up with their first interception of the game. So the Seahawks are running something we run a lot. It's a deep speedo concept. They'll run Metcalf on a pylon route, which will run straight at the safety for 15 yards, then break to the goal line pylon. Then Lockett on a deep over or high crosser, whichever you want to call it, and they run this off play action. In our version of this, Kyle calls it burner. Pylon isn't even in the progression, so I can't be 100% sure how Seattle runs this. Normally, the number one is the high crosser. We're in cover 3 Mabel, which if you've watched the channel is something you'll be familiar with, where it's cover 3 zone with the single receiver side in man coverage, which is Metcalf. In cover 3 Mabel, Greenlaw is responsible for picking up the high crosser. There's several good things going on here, so I'll have to go over this twice. First, great job on reading the run action pass. That's one of the luxuries the linebackers have when the D-line is keeping the run game in check. They don't react as hard on the run fakes, and so Greenlaw is in perfect position on the high crosser. But if you notice late in the play, the dispersion of Seattle's routes is not good. Metcalf and Lockett are way too close together. Why is their route dispersion so sloppy? If we go back, Lenore does a fantastic job of rerouting Metcalf off his release and disrupting the timing of this. So when Locke comes out of the run fake, he sees Greenlaw covering the high crosser. Lenore's right in Metcalf's hip pocket, and so he tries to lead him away from Lockett, but throws it right to Brown, who is in great position as well. That's fantastic team defense to force the turnover. But the highlights on the defensive side are all over the tape. Here again, we're in a light box against a run personnel, and Seattle is again going to try and get their wide zone going. They get the edge this time, but watch this chase and fill by Flanagan Fowles. He's going to take on the tight end as a lead blocker, and this is stuffing a lead blocker. Let's also give props to Javon Kinlaw for the hard pursuit, but Flanagan Fowles makes this. Then Nick Bosa gets a sack, and again, Wilks and the defense had Locke confused all day. So the Seahawks break the huddle and come out with 3 wide receivers to the bottom. We have Lenore, Oliver, and Thomas matched up, and Fred Warner out on the tight end. They motion Smith and Jigba across, so this is showing man coverage all the way. Everything an offense would look for as a coverage tell is there for this being man coverage. And with Brown coming up, this looks like cover 1 man. Might also be Fred on a blitz with Brown sitting over the tight end, so Locke and the running back have to be alerted to that to pick it up and get the ball out quick. They're running Metcalf and Lockett on a hitch seam concept, so like we've seen, that's where Locke wants to go since he sees he's got Metcalf in a press man look with a middle safety against Isaiah Oliver. But at the snap, we drop back in Tampa 2 zone, with Gibson coming over the top of Metcalf. Locke takes off, and you can see how this was all getting to him. He didn't get the look he thought he was going to get, and so he just takes off, where Bosa brings him down for the sack. But from the end zone, I love this. We have Young, Gregory, and Kinlaw on the field with Bosa. The Seahawks slide to Young on this protection, so you end up with Bosa one-on-one with a center, and I love that. Then Gregory gets a sack as well. I'm not 100% sure what Locke is seeing here. I don't know if the constant change of the defense was getting to him, but the Seahawks do have a cover 2 beater dialed up with double divide concepts. This was probably a verticals or jet play where you'll have 4 verticals against the middle of the field closed or single safety zone, and the inside routes adjust to posts against a middle of the field open or 2 safety zone. Locke could have had the middle of the field the whole way, but he's looking to lock it on a possible hole shot and pulls it down. Don't know if Thomas getting depth or Brown flying out on the route scared him, but he pulls it down, and Gregory whooped the left tackle on a speed rush for a sack. Then on 3rd and long, Gibson makes a heck of a play to force 4th down. I've been highlighting how they were keeping Gibson over Metcalf nearly all game. Well, here they're going to try and hit a wide receiver screen, and he comes up in support so fast they're not able to get up on him, even though they have numbers on the screen, and he makes a solid open field tackle. Then, after Seattle gets a first down off of a Nick Bosa offsides penalty, you're going to see the look presented by the defense get Seattle all out of sorts. So there's definitely some confusion on Seattle's part here. We have Greenlaw and Warner mug the A-gaps, and you'll see Locke change things up by trying to bring the running back up to account for one of these guys. This is where Seattle is in all sorts of confusion. They're trying to go play action and pull a guard to block across, but you can't run play action with an empty backfield. So this protection makes no sense. We end up backing out in cover 4 tricks, but from the end zone, you'll see how they ended up committing 3 blockers to 2 guys who don't even rush. It all causes them to turn Kalia Davis free on a rush, so Locke has to get rid of it, and they get almost no gain on the play. We then get another sack on Drew Lock. Again, we're showing cover 3 Mabel pre-snap with Thomas in a press look on Metcalf. At the snap, we rotate into cover 2 zone. Again, this just seems to have Locke all kinds of uncomfortable, and with such a chaotic pocket, it's a sack. Then we pick off Locke for the second time on 4th and 13 to seal the game. They're trying to hit Metcalf on a widened post route against cover 4. It's not a terrible idea with Gibson looking to cross key to the number 3 receiver, but Chase Young won off the edge and gets just enough of the ball to affect the throw. Great job of tracking and locating the ball by Fred Warner. I'm sure Brown thought he was surely going to have a 2-pick game until Warner sniped it from him. But you can see why the defense had to have their own video this week. There was so much good to highlight, and we really haven't been able to focus in on how good of a job the defense is doing. They really took it to Seattle, and the game felt even better than holding them to just 16 points. Look out for a video tomorrow or Thursday as I make the case for Brock Purdy as MVP. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.